Okay guys, here we are again for TBR Cards vlog round number 2. I am really excited to get into it. As you can see, by the end of this video, I am wearing the same thing. I, once again, did not film an intro, so here we are. I've already finished it, but I'm jumping in here to let you guys know that, hey, we're doing vlog number 2. Really excited, and I can't wait for you guys to see this one, so let's get right into it. Okay, so I have my TBR cards here. I have shuffled them already along with my draw cards. They have already been shuffled. I did leave out the last draw cards from the first vlog, and I left out the last prompt cards. I don't know when I'll put them back in, maybe after a couple rounds, but I just want to give everything else a chance to be picked. So I have 3 picks I'm going to be doing with the draw cards. They can give me multiple books or just one. And I also will incorporate a my pick. So throughout the vlog, I will have a book that I want to read that doesn't have a prompt or anything. It's just kind of like a mood read, but it's just a my pick. So we're going to get started. I'm going to pick the first one and let's hope for the best. So first we have draw 6 cards, pick 2, and combine them, okay? So first we have vampires and witches. We have no people on the cover. Buy a book. Book club. Family pick, and finally building on the cover. Okay, so I feel like I immediately want to take vampires and witches off because I don't know that there's anything really that I want to read that's vampires and witches right now. I think I'm also going to take off book club. I'm left with these 4. I immediately want to take buy a book and put it on here because I think this would be fun. I love buying books. So what do I want to go with it though? Okay. We have family pick, building on the cover, or no people on the cover. I feel like I want to take one of these 2 off, but I don't know which one. Why is this so hard? This should not be taking me this long. But I think I'm going to take building on the cover away. And I'm left with family pick and no people on the cover. So I could potentially like get a bunch of books for family pick and just let them pick one and I'll buy it and read it. Or I just find a book that has no people on the cover, buy it and read it. Which one's going to be more fun? I think I'm going to do no people on the cover, but this one could give me like so many options and this one limits it. Why is this so hard? Okay, you know what? I'm going to take this one off and we're going to do buy a book that's a family pick. So this is going to be the first one. I'm going to put it up here with that one. Okay, that was harder than it needed to be. On to number 2. Draw 1 from the top and 1 from the bottom. So we're going to get 2 cards with this. Okay, 1 from the top. Read an indie self-published book. And then 1 from the very bottom. Oops. Title starts with the letter blank. Okay, so I need to get a random letter generator, but I'll do that later. I won't do that now. So okay, I have 1 book and then 2 books. So we're up to 3 and we still have 1 final draw left to do. I'm a little nervous. Okay. Draw 1 prompt. Okay. Perfect, simple. Let's see what it is. Read a white book. Okay, so we got a color. So let's move these out of the way and go over everything. So first I had draw 6 cards, pick 2 and combine them, and out of the 6 I decided to go with buy a book and family pick. And then next I had draw 1 from the top and 1 from the bottom, so I'm getting 2 books here. So read an indie self-published book and a title that starts with the letter, so I have to do a random letter generator and figure out what letter we're going to be starting with. And then I got draw 1 prompt, pretty easy and simple. And for that one, I got read a white book. So I'm going to go look around and as soon as I finish the last book for my other vlog, I will probably get into figuring these ones out. Plus, I have a book that I get to pick. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5 books coming in this next vlog, and I am really excited for it. Okay, so I started reading the book for Title Starts with the Letter Blank, and I forgot to incorporate the spinner wheel for the letter, so I'm gonna put that in here now. So it took me a while to get the spinner to work, but as you can see, we did get the letter J, which I was a little worried because I wasn't sure how many books I had with the letter J. And so I went and I looked on my Kindle books and I alphabetized it, whatever, A to Z. And I had, I think, like 7 books. So I ended up deciding to go with the Jigsaw Man. So that's what I'm reading for this one. Okay, so I am currently in the pickup line to pick my kids up from school, but I wanted to check in and let you guys know that I did start The Jigsaw Man by Nadine Matheson. So the beginning starts off with a bunch of different people finding these dismembered body parts all over like this riverbank, and I think one's by like a garbage can. And then in comes Angelica Hensley. She is the inspector detective on the case, and we find out that for I think like a year or so she has been on desk duty because of some kind of incident that happened with this killer called the Jigsaw Man, and how she helped bring him in, and she was hurt when she did this somehow. I don't know all the story yet, but anyway, so she's put on the case. This is her first case working back in the field, and she has a trainee inspector, Salim Ramuder, and they are going through and they're seeing these body parts, and they find out that there's 2 different victims, a white male and a black woman. And so they're trying to figure out who they are, and I believe they figure out who the man is, and then they get a call that they find the rest of the girl's body. And so they go and do that, and then they find out that this girl has this symbol carved onto her, or whatever, carved or burned, I can't remember, but it's the same MO as the Jigsaw Man. And so now she's wondering if they have a copycat killer, or if maybe there was someone else and they just didn't catch them. So after they go and talk to the 2 deceased people's families, they find out that the 2 deceased people were involved with each other, and then they have to go talk to the Jigsaw Man, and they have just done that, and of course he gave them nothing, and I think they leave feeling more frustrated. So far what I like about this is that we're getting points of views from different characters here and there. So I think at some point we did get a chapter from the newest murderer, I think, potentially. I really enjoyed that. It was very creepy and horrifying and disturbing. And hang on. And as for the characters, I can't really say too much about Angelica other than, you know, she's still dealing with the trauma of what happened with her, and then all of them are still, you know, they all have family issues that they're working out. And I am really enjoying that aspect because it's adding more to their characters. But other than that, I've only gotten 20% of the way in, and I'm really enjoying this book, and I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, not too much has happened, but I'm interested to see where this story's gonna go. So that's my update. I'll probably update you guys again when I get like 50% of the way through. Okay, so I just wanted to check in from a new angle. I'm just laying on my bed at this point. I was gonna go get the kids, but then my mom said she would go get them, so here we are. I also have my fan on because it's warm in here, so I apologize now if you can hear that. But I wanted to check in and say I did finish the Jigsaw Man at like midnight last night, and this was by Nadine Matheson, and I really enjoyed it. I will say that I only gave it 4 stars, and my reason being because once we started like seeing all these twists and things that were going on, which I really enjoyed, I thought the writing was good and everything. I had a little trouble with the audiobook, but I feel like when we got to like the 80% percent. I just kept waiting for like another twist or something. Like I just felt like we needed another twist, but we didn't get it. And I don't know, the ending, while it was still good, it felt like it wrapped up too quickly for the way that this book had been going for like the first 75% of it. So I don't know. I really enjoyed this. I'm definitely going to be continuing on with this series, but I felt like this one could have gone a little farther with some twists at the end. I know I haven't said too much about like what else went on, but I feel like when I'm talking about thrillers, I don't want to give too much away because the whole point is to be surprised and thrilled by them. So I will say that this one had body parts and like dismemberment and stuff like that. And so if you're not a fan of that, maybe don't read this book. But I really enjoyed it. I was happy I really got to this one. I think I had started it last year and then I ran out of time on my Kindle Unlimited because I let it go. And so I never got to finish it. I think I read up to like 16%. And so I was happy to push through that. Going back to the audiobook, I love listening to audiobooks when I'm doing different things, but for this one, I actually had to do immersion reading where I'm listening while reading along because it was hard to understand the narrator when I was reading it at like 2.5 speed. And I know a lot of you are probably like, oh, turn it down lower, but like I just can't. It just gets boring at that point. And a lot of times I just couldn't understand what they were saying. And I guess it didn't help that I think this took place in the UK, I believe. And so there were a lot of different words that I wasn't familiar with. And so that made it harder. But otherwise, I enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. Not sure what I'm going to be picking next. I kind of think I need to pick the My Pick or My Mood Read, whatever, because I have a book that is going to return to my library on Libby in 3 days, and that happens to be Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. And this one has a really long wait, so I don't want to like hold off on it. So I think I'm going to be picking that one up. I have the audiobook and the ebook, so I think this is like a historical light fantasy romance, but I hear really good things about it, so I am hoping that this is going to be a 5 stars. I was sad that the Jigsaw Man didn't give me my 5th 5-star in a row, but that's okay. I still had a really good time with it. So I guess I'll check back in with you when I have started Divine Rivals, and hopefully I have not read the whole thing in one sitting like I've been doing and not give you guys an update on how it's going. So I'm gonna get right into that, and I will talk to you guys either later tonight or tomorrow. Okay, so I'm so sorry for the quality of this clip, and please excuse my hair. We just got back from swimming. I took a shower. Now I'm waiting for the pizza to be on cooking because I am starving. Do any of you get really hungry after swimming? Because I definitely do. Anyway, I wanted to let you guys know that yesterday, in one sitting pretty much, I read all of Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I read this for My Pick, and I wanted to sit on it. I could have gave you guys an update yesterday, but I just felt like I needed to sit and think about it for a little bit. And after further thought, I have decided to give this book 3 stars. So we're following Iris and Roman, or Roman Kit, whatever you want to call them. And they are on this like newspaper, whatever, together. And they're both going against each other to be like the top columnist or whatever. And they also have like family stuff going on in the background. And we also find out at the beginning of the book that Iris's brother Forrest went off to war, and this war is started by these 2 gods who kind of have it out for each other, especially the one. And her brother is going for the goddess's side, and he's going to be fighting against the god, and she's not happy about it. And so when we get to the first chapter, we find out, you know, she hasn't heard from him. She's really worried that something bad has happened. And she's also trying to worry about, you know, just everyday life stuff. But knowing that there's more going on out there, she finds it hard to focus on, like, mundane things. But anyway, so she kind of is having a really bad time of it. And Roman, while he's better off with his family is not always the nicest, and there's a lot of background there. I don't want to say any more than that. I'm sure you probably already know what this is, but there's like these typewriters, they type back and forth, and at first Iris doesn't know who she's talking to, but Roman does, and you know, so on and so forth. My other thought is, if this book would have just been 100 more pages of world building and more information about the gods and goddesses and like some of the magic, this probably would have been like a 4 or 5 star for me. But because it didn't even really go over that much of that stuff, it just wasn't as intriguing as I think it could have been. I think like the first 40 to 50% were really good. I was really enjoying it. But the further on we got, it just felt like the same thing over and over and over. And more, it just felt more historical, which I don't read a lot of. I do enjoy some books that are historical, but this one just wasn't working for me. So I did end up giving it 3 stars, and after further consideration, I have decided that I don't think I'm going to be continuing on with Ruthless Vows. I'm very disappointed by this book. It's probably one of my most disappointing reads this year, so there's that. But anyway, I did start one of my other books last night, and it was to read an indie or self-published book, and for that I started Of Shadows and Moonlight by Luna Laurier or whatever. So we're following Cassie, and she has heart problems, and she knows that she doesn't have long to live. And then also that since she was little, she's had the ability to be a really good artist. And the prologue, we're following her, and her dad comes in, and he's looking at what she's drawing, and her drawings have gotten really good over the few years that she's been alive. And he ends up listening to her talk about this picture she's working on, and it's a dream she had, and we've got like this darkness surrounding this girl who is her, and he asks her about it, and she goes, well, he protects me from the monsters. And her dad asks, well, why is he crying? And she said, he says it's because I can't stay, and all this other stuff. It was just such a good prologue. And then we get to the first chapter, and while I understand like life and death things with people, and like people that have like terminal illnesses, like by all means, like you can say whatever you want at this point, but it was just like over and over again, like smacking you in the face of, I can't make a friendship, or I can't have these relationships because I'm just gonna like hurt them in the end, and all this stuff. But it was like over every other page, it was like that same inner monologue over and over and over again. And it was like, okay, we know, for the sake of the book, like move on, you know, whatever. And I also want to say that I have found a lot of different like spelling errors and like grammar things. So this book was definitely not edited very well, but I'm still enjoying it. We got to the part where Cassie is at college, and she knows, she questions whether she should even be in college because like she doesn't have long to live. It's something with her heart, and they don't really know what it is, so everything they've tried just hasn't worked. But anyway, she ends up going back to college or whatever, and she's just going on with her daily life. And while she is at the mall with her friend, I think before school, she runs into this guy accidentally, and then she sees him again at college, and his name is Damien, and her friend Kat, I think it is, she kind of doesn't have the best impression of these group of guys, but Cassie is very interested. Like she feels a pull towards him. And also, we also find out that there's like a bunch of kids or a bunch of people gone missing from this town. So that's all we got. I don't want to go into it because I can see it's already at like 6.5 minutes. So I'm really enjoying it. I did start listening to the prologue of the book that I'm going to be reading for A White Book, but I won't tell you about that yet. But it is definitely creepy. It's a horror book, so I'm probably just going to eat some pizza, continue reading, and I don't know when I'll check in with you guys again, but hopefully we have a better angle, and I don't look like a drowned rat. Okay, so I'm coming on here to let you guys know that I am DNFing a book. I am going to be DNFing Of Shadow and Moonlight at 26% of the way in. I think it's like 92 pages. I can't do it anymore, guys. I did some digging, and apparently the version I have is a newly revised version, and let me tell you, whoever they got to revise this book should be fired and they hire a new one, because there are so many grammatical and spelling errors. It's driving me nuts. It's pulling me out every time I find one, which is pretty frequent. Also, the plot, I have no idea what the plot even is. The romance is like pretty instantaneous. The character is acting in a way I feel like no one would normally act. Like, I just met this guy and I'm already in love with them, and like right away. And I get it that there's some tropes in here, like fated mates and everything, but like we haven't even gotten to the part where we find out like who he is to her, kind of. I don't know if that's spoiler or not. I don't think it is, because I don't know. But then she's having these weird dreams, and some of them are like real, but she thinks they're still dreams. And even when she's like given like visual things that happened in these dreams, she's just brushing it off like, oh, and then she like moves on to like, I'm like, absolutely not. This is not, I don't know, guys. I am done with this book. I am so sad because I had really high hopes for this one. I thought I was gonna love it, or at least be like 4-star. That is not the case. I feel bad because I've seen people give this higher ratings, but like, what? We are not reading the same book then, because this one was just so slow in parts, and then other parts that like stuff happened real fast, but then we never like dived deeper into it. And I don't know, this book just has me so frustrated, and I can't do it anymore. I even went and I looked up other people's reviews and stuff, and apparently it doesn't get any better. So I am tired of being like slapped in the face with the same inner thoughts our character has like on every other page. I am tired of the grammatic and spelling errors. Like, I can understand a couple, but it's like almost on every page. I'm reading it on my Kindle, but like, oh God, I can't do it. I can't do it, and I'm so sad about it. If you like this book, like, I'm happy for you, but we are not reading the same book. It does not feel that way. Anyway, trying to think what else I need to say. So this vlog has kind of been like going downhill. Like, we started with a 4-star, then I got a 3-star, now I have a DNF. Where are all my 5 stars? Where did all my 5-star books go? I have 2 books now left. I have the book I'm reading for like a white book, and then I have my buy a book that my family picks. So I don't know. I'm just not in like the mood for them. I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to like wait until tomorrow and try again with one of these other ones. I did start the book for a white book, which is The Watchers by A.M. Shine. This is a horror book, and I know it was just made into a movie, so I'm really interested in the movie. And the premise of this sounds really good, but I'm afraid, like, I don't want this to be boring either, but I do have the audiobook for this one. So I could continue listening to this, because I need to do some more cleaning probably tomorrow in my room. But I'm feeling let down by these picks, and I honestly don't have high hopes for the last 2 books. Oh God, I'm so sad. We had such a good first vlog, and now I must have jinxed it or something, but I'm gonna go eat my little cookie s'more. So, okay, I have these like fudge striped cookies, and then I put a marshmallow in between it and heat it up in the microwave, and it's like a little s'more cookie. So good. So I'm gonna go eat that. I'm gonna watch some booktube and forget that I even started this book, and maybe I'll jump into The Watchers. I don't know. I have such low expectations now for this vlog. I'm so sorry, you guys. But I guess I'll check in tomorrow and hope I have better news. So it's been a few days. I know I last checked in on June 1st and now it's June 4th. It hasn't been that long, but I mean a couple days. Anyway, Before I get into my update, I want to apologize. I'm using my broken tripod on a container that's on top of my foot to kind of keep it level, so I apologize if it shakes. Anyway, I wanted to let you guys know that I did start a book yesterday. I started the book that I had to buy, the book my family picked. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, I had like this whole thing I had them go through to decide which book was gonna win. And I could have made this a lot easier, but I wanted to do it fun, and I did it without the camera, so I apologize if you wanted to see that. But I'm going to explain now. So I did pick 8 books. I picked Eyes on Me, Four Aunties and a Wedding, The Unquiet Bones, Archer, A Sense of Danger, Creepy Cat, Home is Where the Bodies Are, and Tipped in Frost and Blood. Not gonna lie, I'm really happy Tipped in Frost and Blood did not win, because that was the novella after of Shadow and Moonlight, and obviously I DNF'd that book, so I had a save there. Anyway, so essentially what I had them do was I had them pick 1 through 3 on each of the things. So the first one was the titles they liked the most. The second one was the covers without the titles on them. And then the third one was the prices. I think there was another one, but I just can't remember for the life of me. And then I had them see the whole cover put together with the title and everything. So out of all those things, they were putting like their top 3, and then for me, I was just counting up the points for each book, and whichever one had the highest points won. So I'm gonna go down through and tell you the lowest to the highest. So Archer had 1, Home is Where the Bodies Are had 4, The Unquiet Bones had 6, Four Aunties and a Wedding had 10, Tipped in Frost and Blood had 11, Eyes on Me had 12, and then of course A Sense of Danger and Creepy Cat both had 14. So we had a tie. So then I had to go and pick out some other things. So I found that A Sense of Danger came out in November 2021, and Creepy Cat Volume 1 came out October 2021. And then I looked at their ratings, and A Sense of Danger had a 4.20 rating, and Creepy Cat had a 3.86 rating. So I went and I asked my family, I said, should I go with the highest rated book or the one that came out first? And they all decided that the highest rating was the one I should go with. So I ended up going with A Sense of Danger by Jennifer Estep, I think. The cover's right here. What can I say about this book? I got to 49% of it last night. This is like The Incredibles for adults. That's like my best explanation of this book. We're following 2 different characters, Charlotte and Desmond. They both work at Section 47, which kind of reminds me of like Men in Black, sort of, but not that far out there. They're going after bad guys, but more so the ones that have magical powers. And yes, there are magical powers. People in this world, our world or whatever, have magical abilities, hence the Incredibles comparison. But anyway, Charlotte's kind of down on her luck right now. Her mother died when she was little, her father was killed in the line of duty, and her grandma died from cancer. And she ended up with all this debt from her grandma's medical bills, and then a debt her father owed. And so she had to sell like all her furniture and valuables and stuff, and she's left with the bare minimum. Not only does she work this Section 47 job, but she also has to go work at this diner at night. And she's just barely making it, you know. She gets her food from, I know she gets food from the cafeteria at work, so I don't know if that's paid, but she pretty much only eats other meals at the diner because she gets a free meal. And on her way home the one night, she ends up getting attacked by 4 assassins. 1 she recognized, 3 she didn't. And she ends up getting saved by Desmond, who ends up telling her, you know, he wants to work with her, and he saves her and all this stuff. And then when she meets him again, it's to explain that they're going to be working a case together, which is unusual because she's an analyst, so she normally is just working with the numbers and stuff on her computer, safe and sound. But she is going to be his liaison. I don't know why that was so hard. Anyway, so once that's kind of issued, she digs a little deeper and finds out like there's something else going on. He's keeping secrets, she's keeping secrets. It just turns into a whole thing. I don't want to give any more away, but I am enjoying it. Not gonna lie, it's not like something that when I put down, like I need to immediately keep going with it. It's one of those things that if I didn't pick it back up, I probably wouldn't care too much. It's very entertaining. I can like visually see this playing out in my head as I'm reading, but I don't know. I am really in the mood for romance, and my next book that I was gonna do for the white book cover was The Watchers, but I think I might change that because I'm just not in the mood for horror. Like, I could be. I have the audiobook for it, but like I just want romance, and this does have like some kind of romance building between the two, I think, but I just want some good smut. You know what I mean? Like, I just need some good smut or something. And this vlog has kind of just been slowly going downhill. Now it's coming up a little bit. Like, the Jigsaw Man was good, and this one's looking to be like a 3 or 4 star. But I don't know. I was really let down by Divine Rivals, and obviously I DNF'd to Fantasy Romance, which I'm still upset about. But yeah, I've been going on. It's already almost 8 minutes long clip. I'm gonna have fun editing this. But I figured I needed to come in and check in because I hadn't done it in a few days. And I'm already halfway into this book. So yeah, this vlog, I had such high hopes for this one after the first one. But you know what? It is what it is. And I'm going to continue trucking through and hope that my next one goes a lot better than this one. But I'm going to get back into A Sense of Danger and then either find the mood to read a horror or find some kind of smut book that has a white cover. So that's where I'm at right now. Okay, I'm going to try and make this update short because, man, it is really muggy out and I need to turn my air back on. Anyway, so I wanted to check in with you guys and say that I did complete a book, and no, it's not A Sense of Danger. I decided to go ahead and listen to an entire audiobook today, minus like a few chapters that I read over the past couple days. But I ended up reading and finishing The Watchers by A.M. Shine. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel going into this, but once I started, it was really interesting. I think once you pushed past like the first couple chapters and once you got to the part where she goes to the woods, then, you know, it starts picking up from there, and I was really interested. But let me backtrack. So we're following Mina, and she is offering to take this bird to someone who wants to buy the bird off this guy that she knows from the bar who's a drunk. And so he gives her these directions, and so she's following it, trying to take this bird, and she ends up getting lost. She's like out in the middle of nowhere. There's woods all around, and her car dies. And then her phone dies. And so she's stuck in the middle of nowhere with this bird. And so she decides that come morning time, because it's like really, it's getting late. She decides that come morning time, she's going to go and try and walk and find someone or find somewhere. And so in the morning time, she decides to get out of her car. She ends up walking through the woods. And after a while, she hears this scream, this woman scream, and things kind of go from there. She ends up having to run towards this like bunker in the woods because this lady's saying, hurry up or I'm going to close the door. And, you know, she starts hearing these like weird screams going on. So she books it and she gets there, and then that's where everything starts happening. I'm going to leave it there because I feel like that's all you really need to know. But I will say that while I really enjoyed this book, I did give it 4 stars, so I'm really happy about that. I felt like I wanted more with the creatures almost. I wanted to like know more about them and see like more interactions with them. But by the end, I know that there's going to be a second book. I think it's coming out in October. So I'm actually really intrigued to see if we're gonna get more about these creatures and more like interaction with them in the second book. And so I'm really excited. I really do want to watch the movie, and I definitely want to check out the second book. So this one was a pretty good hit. Not a 5-star, but a 4-star is still good. So now we have 2 4-stars, a 3-star, and a DNF. So all I have left is like 40-ish% of A Sense of Danger left, and then I will be done with this vlog. I'm so sorry that this has taken me a while, but I'm finally getting in the groove of it again and reading more. So really excited about that. And that's everything I have for this check-in. So once I finish that book, then I will wrap up this vlog and we will move on into another reading vlog. Okay, you guys, I finally did it. I finished the last book for this vlog. This vlog has taken me so long, and I don't know if it's because I had some like books and then I didn't have one single 5-star read in this one, which is okay. I still had a couple 4-stars, but anyway, I finished A Sense of Danger by Jennifer Estep. I think that's how you say it. And this one I described as The Incredibles, but for adults. If you like that kind of thing, or if like that at all intrigues you, please check this book out. It's so interesting and fun and fast-paced, and it is just a really good read. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I had just like a couple nitpicky things with it, but like it wasn't a bad book. The writing was great, the characters were great, the plot was great. I didn't see a couple things coming at the end, so I was happy about that, and I just really had a good time with this book. Now, overall, for all the books we picked, this wasn't the best vlog, but we're working with it. We're not going to always have 5 stars for every single book for a vlog. So, that being said, so I read The Jigsaw Man, gave it 4 stars. I read Divine Rivals, I gave that one 3 stars, a little bit of a disappointment. I DNF'd of Shadows and Moonlight. That was also a big disappointment. What did I read next? I read The Watchers by A.M. Shine, and I gave this one 4 stars. Really want to check out that second book and see what happens. And then, of course, I read A Sense of Danger, and I gave it 4 stars. So overall, this was a decent reading vlog. A little bit of a letdown for some of them, but other than that, I had a great time. And we're going to be taking a break from this series because I have something fun I want to do next, and it's going to take a couple videos to do it, but I am really excited. I can't wait for you guys to see, and let's just say it has to deal with a game, but it's a start to finish game, so I have to see how many things I can complete to get to the end, and it's going to be like a couple episodes for what I'm calling a round 1 for this game. So I guess that's all I'm going to tell you guys. You'll have to wait and see. The first episode probably won't come out till for like another week or so, depending on the amount of books go into it and whatnot. So I hope you're excited, because I am definitely excited. And yeah, this has been another fun vlog. And I'm really enjoying doing my vlogs like this. Just seems so much easier, and it's more easy for me to mood read, and yeah, I'm having a great time. So thank you all for watching. I am so happy for everyone who is enjoying this content as much as I am. I am happy and excited to start doing a bunch of new things and follow through with them. But like I said, we're going to take a short break from these, do something else, and then we'll come back to them. But yeah, if you like this video, please hit the like button down below. Comment letting me know if you guys are enjoying this series or the way I'm doing this with my TBR cards. And subscribe if you haven't yet. I would greatly appreciate it. And until my next video, I will see you guys again soon. Bye!